office, so you need to secure it because you can hack it. Of course, modern trends like cloud, industrial Internet of Things, digital twins, all these technologies also pose new risks to industrial enterprises. And consequences are really, really high. It's not just a data theft, so any incident on a critical infrastructure can lead to the disaster, to environmental damage, loss of life, and consequences are really, really bad. At the same time, you cannot just implement traditional IT security tools to OT because it's just a different world with the different requirements and different practices. So here where we are now, like more than 80% of cybersecurity leaders don't feel that they're protected in industrial world. So what to do? Actually, again, this is a picture that you've already seen, just a little bit more details of where it is for those who do not familiar with the OT. So it's like just the very simplified picture of how any industrial company looks like. So on the lower level, it's a field level. So here we have the technological process running. So oil and gas, energy, manufacturing, all of the physical stuff is going here. The next level is a lower level of automation. So here we have industrial computers that are like typically called PLCs, programmable logical controllers, that are controlling the physical world here. On the upper level of automation, we have the specific software like SCADA systems that is controlling the PLCs that are in turn controlling the physical processes. And here is like the office segment that we've been talking about a lot. Of course, sometimes we also have like cloud for the modern industrial companies running the IoT and the cloud services, and some managed providers. So we have lots of products, services, and other stuff that we can provide to some to industrial customers, and it's hard to like understand. So this is why I will guide you through our 8 steps to cyber resiliency, how to implement all of this. So let's go. So actually we've implemented this strategy, which shows you in very, very simple and user-friendly way how to build your OT SOC, how to build the cyber resilience for your OT environment from scratch. And now we will go through all the steps real quick, just to give you the understanding of our offering. Of course, we understand that it's not enough just to implement tools and technologies. So the building cyber resiliency is a long path, and you need to like include your management, people, technologies, processes, all of this. So the first, like step 0, is a management decision. So the management should decide whether it is needed to secure the OT environment. Whether do you have OT, whether are you a critical infrastructure or not. So this is just step 0. Once the management decision is here, once the budget are there, once the OT security team is there, we can start our journey. And let's start from the step number 1, which we think is asset management. So the idea is that if you do not have the right asset management implemented in your environment, it is not possible to do anything else. It is not possible to secure what you don't know about, what you don't see. And this is just a very, very normal thing in OT, is that you don't know what exactly you have in your infrastructure. So you have some industrial equipment bought like 20 or 30 years ago that is still working. You have a bunch of controllers from 5 vendors. You have several systems controlling all of that. People that were like installing all of that are no longer available and working with you. So the first thing that we need to do is to build inventory, is to build the list of assets that we have in our network. All the industrial equipments, all the computers, all the software, and so on and so forth. So we offer our Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity technology. It's the whole platform including 2 different products that can do it by itself. So how it works? So this is our industrial assets, right? So we have computers, workstations and servers that are running in industrial environment. So it's typically Windows or Linux machines, so nothing special. What's special about them is that they're running specific software, which we call SCADA systems or distributed control systems. And very often these computers have legacy operating systems. They're very old by themselves, but still it's Windows and Linux. Of course, we have network equipment, whether it is like an industrial switches or routers or the regular ones, and we have industrial devices like PLCs or intellectual electronic devices controlling the whole process. So what we do, we deploy Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity for networks. It's a network monitoring solution which is doing the following. It just consumes the copy of the network traffic from the switch and analyzes it. After it's analyzed the traffic, it just builds you the whole inventory. But at the same time, it can get information right from the host level, if you have the protection for the host kicks for nodes, from the network devices, if you actively ask for information, or from controllers, whether from active polling or like manual information. So in practice, we support like 5 different ways to build the asset inventory, and as soon as you did it, you're good to go with the next steps. The next step number 2, is detailed risk assessment. So once you have your inventory, once you know as much as you can about your assets, it's good time to define what assets are really critical, what assets are not that critical, what security controls you should implement on what assets, and what risks do you have. So if you cannot do it by yourself, you don't have right expertise, you don't have enough people, we can help to do that with our Kaspersky ICS Security Assessment Service. So how the service works. So we have a dedicated team of experts. You can call them red team, I don't know, you can call them purple team, but what they're doing is that they're assessing the industrial environments with regards to OT specifics. So they can do external or internal audits, they can do it safely for OT software and for OT environment. So they're building the whole network architecture, they're looking for vulnerabilities not only in software but in hardware components as well, and of course they have a really great expertise in doing that safely for the system. So this kind of audit will not interfere with the technological process. We ensure that everything will work as it should work, because it's sometimes very dangerous to run standard IT audit tools because it may pose problems for your industrial equipment. So yeah, this is one service that we offer. Another one is ICS threat intelligence. So it also can help to do the detailed risk assessment, because we can provide APT reports, some reports containing the detailed information about the recent threats, about complex campaigns against industrial companies. We do have feeds with OT vulnerabilities in SCADA systems. This is quite unique thing, because public vulnerability databases like a NVD, for example, they don't have accurate information about vulnerabilities in SCADA systems. We have threat landscape services, probably we will hear about it a bit later today, and of course vulnerability analysis services that we also provide for OT. So once we've built the detailed risk assessment, we're good to implement the first essential protection measures. So the first one we need to think is securing our endpoints. Securing our computers that are controlling all of this, working on the high level of automation. So, and here the product Kix for nodes, Kaspersky Industrial Security for nodes, comes into play. So it's actually an endpoint protection platform, EPP, or like 20 years ago we called it antivirus, but it's now more than antivirus, of course. So it's a protection product for nodes. We are talking about Windows and Linux machines. We also have the portable scanner, so you can install this product on USB stick and scan the computer without even installing anything on the computer. And this is the case for example, HMIs, human machine interfaces, so specific computers that do not have any like keyboard, and you cannot install anything on them. But it's possible with a portable scanner. So it can be installed on different types of workstations, like engineering workstation, operator workstations, historians, SCADA servers. So it's all different types of computers running in OT. What's good about it, about the product, is that it is designed for industrial environments. So it's not just corporate antivirus. We do not recommend to use like non-industrial solutions. So what does it mean? It means that it consumes minimum resources. So it can work on the computer running Windows XP, which is 20 years old. So it is running on a computer with 256 megabytes of RAM, for example. So no modern EPP or EDR can do that, but this product can. So it doesn't require reboots or like switching on and off the computer. So you can install it right on your production environment. It will never ask to reboot the machine. So it supports some ICS features, it supports lots of stuff, and it is like the essential thing to start with. So once we have protection on your endpoints, the next step is detection of more complex threats, detection of the threats in your network, and network monitoring, and also detection of the anomalies. So on this step, another product from Kix family comes into play that we call Kix for networks, Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity for networks. We also have a product working on physical level, MLAT, machine learning for anomaly detection, and KUMA, CM, Ilya was like talking about it already. So the idea is the following. On physical level, we can find anomalies in technological process. On level of automation, we see all the network communications. And on level of our office network, we run OT SOC that is like consuming all the data from these products to a single place. So let's see how it works. Kix for networks. So the idea is very simple. So we have our field devices, we have controllers controlling them, we have switch, we have our SCADA. So we set up a switch so it pushes traffic to us. You can use tab device, you can use span port, it doesn't matter, so we just need the traffic. So once we have the traffic, we see anything that is going on in your network. All the network communications, all the protocols, we do DPI of industrial protocols, we see all the commands that are sent to controllers by the operator or some bad guy. We can see all the parameters of the technological process running through that. So everything becomes visible with this. So it can work in passive mode. In passive, it just gets the copy of the traffic and sends nothing back. So it is great because you cannot interfere with this communication. So it's absolutely safe for the factory. So no one will ever see that some product is like deployed. So it will not affect this. It is very important. But it also can work in another way with the active polling technology. So you can actively connect to every asset if you are sure that it will be okay. So, and this method is also very good because it will give you much more information about what is going on. So another product is MLAT, machine learning for anomaly detection. This is like cutting edge technology. This is a real AI. We've been doing this for like 6 years and now have really good projects with that. So the idea is simple. We have our technological process, so the telemetry is running from equipment to SCADA and back and forth. So we get all this telemetry about the technological process, so it's not even security thing. We analyze it with machine learning, we learn on how a technological process works, and then after some time we are able to see the anomalies. So if something is going wrong. So this product, it detects equipment faults and human errors. So it's not only about cybersecurity. So for example, if you have something that is going to break and it produces some noise in your telemetry, you can detect it before the incident happens, actually. And this is like called predictive analysis. It's also a good product. It saves money on maintenance, on production shutdowns, because it can predict that something bad will happen based on the anomalies in telemetry. I don't know, pressure changes differently, temperature or something else. So, okay, and when we have like anomalies on physical level, network detection on the network level, we can combine all of this in our CM system, Kuma, which is running in OT SOC. So this is like industrial data. We push it to the Kix for Networks. Kix for Networks analyzes anything and sends alerts and events to our SOC system. So this is like the basic version of the SOC. On step 4, if you have this implemented, you already have the basic SOC. And you also comply to requirements to have that for critical infrastructure. Okay, so step 5 is compliance and vulnerability assessment. So once we have our SOC running, we need to make sure that everything is compliant. We need to make sure that we do regular audits of our infrastructure. It's also done by our Kix for Networks product. So Kix for Networks supports a security audit subsystem, which is based on the open language, OVAL. OVAL stands for Open Vulnerability Assessment Language. So we are using this to create compliance rules that help you to look for vulnerabilities, for example, in any type of software that we have, including SCADA systems. To do compliance checks, whether your system is compliant to standards. Do security assessments, so we have specific automated audits for assessment of Linux operating system, Windows operating system, some kind of software as well. We can do configuration control, so we control any changes in configuration of the hosts, whether it is like new users, new software installed, or anything else. So, and so on and so forth. So this is like an open thing, so we can add more and more content to that to do automated audits. So, okay, once we are sure that our system is always compliant, we need to think about our network segmentation. So on step 6, we have to make sure that all devices are like in the proper zones with the proper security controls, that all communication channels are known to us and protected in the right way. So there are different products that we can offer in order to make sure that communications are secure. Let's talk about some of them. The story of this scheme is also very easy. On level, we have our equipment, industrial equipment, any type, industrial IoT, PLCs, physical devices. So they push the data through the network to our control center, where we have our SCADA system protected by Kix for Networks. So if you have your network in place, so the data just goes through this network and we analyze it by Kix for Networks. If you don't have network, for example, if you're like a distributed company, some oil and gas with long pipelines, power company with lots of substations all over the country, sometimes they don't even have the network there. So we have our SD-WAN product that can build software-defined network to easily connect remote small branches to our central control center. Yeah, so for some embedded devices and IoT working in the field and connected through the radio channels, we have our IoT security gateway. So this is a specific box that can secure the communication with a remote IoT. It just encrypts all the data that is sent, so no one can do MITM attack, no one can steal the information about your technological process. So lots of stuff. But what else we do is like the main story is about Kicks for Networks. So Kicks for Networks, if it's implemented in industrial segment, it builds in real time and builds communication map. So, or we call it network map. So it shows how assets are communicating with each other. So each block here is a computer or industrial device, and links between them are network communications. So once some new device will appear in the network and start sending anything to your asset, it will be visible by Kicks for Networks. It will show in real time this exact picture, that new computer, unauthorized device now in your network, he's trying to connect, maybe he will connect right to the industrial level, to some PLCs. You will be able to click on the asset, to click on the link to see what's inside this communication, to get all the whole session, to get the pickups, so full visibility of what is going on in the network. So this is like one of the main features that we do. And at the same time, getting all this information is safe, so it cannot break the operation of all these devices in the network. And of course, I already told about it. It is like designed for OT, and this is why it understands industrial protocols as well. Because these PLCs are communicating with, like, through firewall with the system by their own protocols, and there are plenty of different of them. So we need to make sure that we understand these protocols. Okay, so. After we've implemented security monitoring, step 7 is make your security operations more mature. So on this step, you need to make sure that your SOC operates very well and empower SOC with additional tools so they can reduce mean time to detect and mean time to respond, so they can detect more and more threats and be more effective. But sometimes, so on this step, we can again offer our ICS threat intelligence. So being used in CM system, it can provide much more context about what is going on. And we also have like services that can help SOC teams to operate efficiently. So one I would like to mention is our Kaspersky Managed Detection and Response. So it's a managed service. I'm sorry, this is a slide for ICS data feeds, but I think that we will have separate session about TI. And my colleague will tell you more details about what we have. So we have ICS threat data feeds. It's information that is ingested to your CM system and provides information about the attacks on industrial companies. So you could attribute and respond respectively. But MDR, yeah, so that's also a very notable solution. We provide managed detection response service to industrial environments. It means that you only need to implement the agent on your computers. We will get telemetry to our cloud, and our SOC team, our analysts, will do the job by themselves. So they will analyze all the information and go back with incidents and guided response, which we will have to do manually. Of course, you can tell me that in OT, you do not send data to the cloud, and this is like truth. But in some greenfield manufacturing, you still can do that. And if cloud connections are allowed, we can provide this service. Typically, I think it's better for middle-sized business. Critical infrastructure will definitely want an on-prem solution, but still it's in place. Okay, and the last step is ensure resilience by training your SOC team, constantly increasing your expertise. So here we have our security awareness program. So we have lots of trainings for security fundamentals in industrial companies, for incident response, forensics, and so on and so forth. And we, of course, offer our incident response service. So if something like happened, we can jump in and provide the professional response to the threat. So yeah, this is about awareness actually. So you can learn more about this in our material that we call 8 Steps to Cyber Resiliency. You will get to the web page with very user-friendly, with lots of information about each step that I mentioned, with some materials for further research. So who are interested, please follow. We also have the stand here with the same link, so you can scan it later. To sum it up, so how to choose the right vendor for industrial cybersecurity? First of all, expertise. So our advantage is that we have our ICSR team. So it's like 30 experts, subject matter experts that have lots of experience in automation, and now are working for securing all the systems. So they are doing assessments, they are looking for vulnerabilities, they are doing response. So it's a really great thing. Not every security vendor has such experience, I would tell you. So products, of course, the right mix of the products for OT and IT is also the key. So I've tried to show that we are covering almost all domains for NIST framework, probably like except access control, so we don't have it right now, but I hope it will soon be available. So everything is in place. Of course, you need to be compliant to international standards. So in OT, we are mostly working with a family of IEC 62443 standards. So those guys who are like familiar with OT perfectly know what it is. So you need to work with a specific regulatory framework to work in OT. So make sure that you use correct tools. Of course, another very important topic is the compatibility with the SCADA vendors. So when you go to the plant, it's always a vendor there, because so one of whether it is a Siemens, Schneider Electric, Honeywell, Rockwell, GE, I know lots of them. So they not typically allow you to install anything on their system. And it's very important to be compatible. So this is why for like 10 years we've been creating the certificates of compatibility, and we've been doing tests with the security automation systems to make sure that our products are compatible and can work with them. So it's very important. Another important point, of course, the technologies and our approach. Our KX platform containing not only with the security monitoring, but also endpoint protection that work together as an XDR platform is our competitive advantage. So if you check other companies on the market, they either have this one or that one, and none of them will have both. And we have both, so it gives us a really good advantage. Of course, the vendor should be trusted in OT. It's very important to make sure that someone already implemented all of this, and we have really great track record. We have more than 500 networks protected all over the world from all verticals. So, just my last slides. Historically, OT security was like about security by obscurity. So you just had an air gap, you thought that your system is isolated, no one can penetrate it, and I am good, I don't need any security solutions. Then it evolved into industrial grade security. So here we have specialized platforms Our platform is Kicks for Networks. Probably if you will just check competitors, they will have their own platforms. And that's it. But future of OT security is ecosystem of natively integrated products. So it's very important not only to have solution for OT. You have you have to build solution for SOC. You have to combine it with IT security to have the whole single product that covers all your infrastructure. So to sum it up, you have to choose enterprise-grade supplier with the right mix of products, with the multifunctional platform, with prevention capabilities, compliant with your SCADA system, and compliant to the best practices for industrial cybersecurity. So join our family. So we have lots of use cases in all verticals all over the world, whether it is oil and gas, manufacturing, power, transportation, lots of them, starting from nuclear power plants to some small factories making the carpets or pasta, I don't know, any example possible. Thank you.